here we have four problems that are all very similar. They're all inequalities. Let's solve each one and then we'll reflect on all of them together. So in the first one, we want to isolate x, so we're going to divide by 5. So I'm going to divide by 5. Now, as soon as I have an inequality and I'm dividing, that's an alert. Now, in this case, I'm dividing by a positive number, so there's no problem here. So I'm going to get x is greater than or equal to negative 115 over 5. So x is greater than or equal to, now negative divided by positive is negative, and this is 23. All right, we've got that, and if we graph this, here's my x-axis. I'm just going to go to negative 23, and because I have equal in this inequality, I'm going to draw a closed circle at negative 23, and I want to shade the number line to the right, indicating that any point out here solves this inequality. So if I pick any point here, like 0, say 0, but in 0, what do you get? 5 times 0 is 0. 0 surely is greater than negative 115. Let's go on to the next one, number 3. Now in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by negative 7, alert, right? It's an alert because I'm dividing an inequality. And in this case, it's a negative, so I know what happens now. When I divide by a negative, I'll get x. It reverses that the direction of that inequality symbol, right? So we get 35 over negative 7. So x is less than or equal to negative 5. And if we graph this one, here's a number line. I'll label it x. Again, we have equal sign in our inequality. So I'm going to come over to negative 5. Put a closed circle, and x is less than, so less than. Actually, the arrows tell me which side to shade. Now, number 5, we want to solve for x. Now, notice we have to divide by 4, so I'm going to divide by 4, alert, because I'm dividing through an inequality, but I'm dividing by a positive number, so I don't have to change the direction of that inequality sign. So I'm going to get negative 20 over 4. Greater than or equal to x. So it says negative 5 is greater than or equal to x, but that's an awkward way to write this. That's sort of like saying, somebody says, how old are you? And you say, well, 20 is greater than my age. That's just awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing around. I'm going to turn it around and say this. Now, if I turn it around, it's just imagine grabbing onto that and flipping it over. So what I'm going to get here is that if negative 5 is greater than or equal to x, x must be less than or equal to negative 5. That just makes more sense. Just easier to read. So here's x, and again, there's our negative 5, and we're off to the left. And here, number 7, a little work up front first. We're going to have to add 5 to both sides, right? So I'm going to add 5, so I'll get negative 2x less than or equal to, now if I add 5, we're at 20, and I'm going to divide by negative 2, alert, so I'm going to change the direction of that inequality sign, so I get x is greater than or equal to 20 over negative 2, x is greater than or equal to negative 10, there we go, and there's my x number line. I'll come over to negative 10, anywhere on the number line, and label it negative 10, and we're off to the right. And just to make things consistent, I'll put a box there.